quickly, you did say, you feel like you're in a spot where you're not utilized to your full potential. Last week, we spoke a lot about you leaving AEW, going to TNA. And I think that there were parts of it that were, seculated into individual clips that maybe it gives indication of how you're feeling one way versus something and how you're feeling another way about it. Let's set the record straight, Matt. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Can you provide some sort of distinction here in how you felt about booking versus how you feel towards Tony Khan and AEW as an organization?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the AEW fan base, they see more than anybody else. They want authenticity. They want people to be authentic. Well, I'm about to give you the most authentic answer you could possibly ask for. I greatly enjoyed being at AEW. I think Tony Khan's a great guy. I think he takes incredible care of all his performers at AEW, and I never fought him for that. I just think some of the creative decisions that were made once Jeff came back and he spent 3 or 4 months kind of proving himself and trying to earn everyone's respect and trust back and whatnot. I just feel like following that, we could have been capitalized more on. And that's really the only issue that I had any gripes with. We were well compensated while we were working there. I have zero complaints about that. I loved my time at AEW overall. I love the roster there, a bunch of great people, a bunch of great men and women, good stuff. Yeah, I'm just was frustrated with these things. And the fact that people maybe didn't listen to it, they just read headlines and things were taken out of context. If you want to go back and listen to this episode again or watch it right here on YouTube, where you can actually see us as we're speaking about things. I mean, you will see that I have lots and lots of love for AEW. I want AEW to thrive. I want AEW to be successful. I am just talking about my personal experiences and what I thought could have been done differently to maximize and optimize Matt Jeff Hardy. And that is it. There's a reason when we first started getting pushed that stopped and it didn't happen. And that was because of my brother. And I'm very open and transparent about that. And I acknowledge that immediately whenever we talk about it in the episode. And I acknowledge everything throughout this. And I feel like John is very good at taking people to task and making sure they make their point, that they're being truthful, that they're following the facts. And I thought we had an amazing conversation when it came to that. I just legitimately talked about my gripes when we were being told we were being reset, we were being started. We're going to focus just on the Hardys, no more Hardy party. Isaiah wasn't going to be with us anymore, and it just never materialized. It never happened. And those are where my gripes come from.
Yeah. And you can feel like, okay, our characters were devalued, or I didn't like the direction we were going, while also recognizing I understand why there may have been hesitance to do that. Those two things don't have to exist together. They can be independent of one another. And I thought you made that pretty clear. And I appreciate you clearing that up. And, one thing I will say, and I appreciate you saying this as well, in anything that I do, even this project that we've had on this podcast for the last 3 years, I will never shy away from trying to take someone to task and ask a hard question, because I think that's important for you to have a good product. You need to be able to ask those very honest questions. And I thought you did a great job answering them very truthfully last week. So go check that out in the archives. I can't encourage it enough. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, extremehardy.com. Listen to that entire episode. And I think if you really give it a full listen through, you will have a thorough understanding of where Matt's coming from. And he was not taking anyone to task in AEW personally or anything of that nature. So, yeah, man, I thought it was a good episode. Go check that out. Anything else you want to add on that front?
Yeah, I mean, I just think if you go back and you listen to the entire episode and you don't just read headlines or just like bits and pieces that are pulled out of the entire podcast, then you truly understand my perspective. And I think you can understand where I'm coming from whenever I speak about those things. And something that's very important to me, something I've learned through all my struggles, whatever. I mean, there's times in life where you have to have hard conversations, with friends, with your spouse, with kids, whatever it may be, with people that you work with, your boss, your fellow colleagues, and you have to have those. You can't shy away from those hard conversations. And I just feel like Here, we're trying to be transparent. We're trying to be honest. And it's important that we have those hard conversations. And I'm glad you asked those questions. I wouldn't want any way, because I don't want to like mince my words. And I don't want to say stuff that, you know, is out of context, you know. So I want to sit here and I want to like talk about things, and I want to have an honest dialogue, even if it is a tough dialogue.